And so things which were normal for other people is not anymore normal for you.
Yeah.
Okay, now you need a higher fix.
Yes.
You need a higher fix. So that is one aspect of it. You need more and more. There is something known as a porn circuit. Okay, so along with these images which are seen, now it's getting tattooed. That are some phrases which I found. Tattooed on your brain. In the same way on your brain also, now there's some vivid memories. Okay, you might say you've broken the habit, but this is like images will just flash in front of your eyes maybe for the next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years.
Yes.
Okay, so that is one big impact.
One thing that I had faced, and also I've seen a lot of other people face, is your idea about girls. Right? Now they become...
Or boys.
Right? They become objects.
Yes.
Right? Or you cannot face them. You cannot look at their face and talk. Right? Because it's difficult for you. And now you don't have that confidence level. It kind of batters your self-esteem almost to say. Academics, like for a lot of kids, I know this for a fact, like their academics really come down, right? Because once they do this, they feel this downward spiral about themselves, and then like, and they can't concentrate on their studies, right? So as an individual, it breaks, the impact is huge.
So actually, when you were talking about, how keeping the marriage bed undefiled starts from an early, I also heard, connecting with the premarital thing, right? It's something we touched upon slightly at that time also, right?
Yeah.
And I heard in one place that, if you are struggling with something like this, the best thing you can do for your future spouse is to stop getting into this, preparing yourself and work towards keeping your marriage bed undefiled, right? So that's something that, when you said that, it was just coming.
I was just interested in, you were just now saying about the definition of what it should be. And if you check the original, the authorized version, KJV, all that sexual acts, the word which is used to know your wife. There it says now in KJV, especially in all the initial, Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain. Okay, it's new, not had sex. Okay, but when you come to various other passages in Amnon, Tamar, it's pakka mentioned sex. Okay, here it is like Abraham knew Sarah.
Interesting.
Okay, Jacob knew. So that the original, what I was looking, one other versions, now the man had relations with his wife. But in KJV, it uses the word know, which means yada. Okay, it means to know experientially. Okay, it is not just, but that is what, like the love triangle, agape is there, the filio is there, eros is there. So agape love is that underlying unconditional love on which marriage is built. Okay, and in that erotic love is a part of it. Filial love is a part of it. But now in the world, what we are seeing is that erotic part is pulled out and you enjoy it. Forget the agape, now you have a lot of casual sex. You have BFF, best friends forever sex. You have one night stands in which agape, leave it. Filio, leave it. Just for friends with benefits. See, look at it. The whole world is changing into such sense. A marriage is not important. Live-in relationships have come in which let's try it out. If it is good, where is all this coming from? So there is some agenda behind all this.
Talking about agenda, there is also real agenda, right? Like the industry, there's an industry towards it, right? Where people, there's money involved in this. There's
lives destroyed.
There's a lot of push, right? There's also human trafficking that happens, right?
And this is not discussed at all. This doesn't even come to the limelight. That's the crazy thing about this.
So I think that these things are something we don't know about, right? Like sometimes, like this generation is is pro fighting for a particular cause, right? And if you really want to fight for a particular cause, this is one of the causes you need to fight for, because they're manipulating people and using this for human trafficking or for money.
It's like one that industry supports the other. So if the porn industry is growing, then human trafficking is automatically the demand is increasing. Because of something like this,
Yes,
right?
yes.
It's just so plain and obvious.
One scary fact is the amount of missing children in societies.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot of search will take place for some time. Some children are received back, but still there are a lot of missing children. Where are they?
Yes.
Okay, so there a small question raises, are they being used for these sort of activities? One verse I find very interesting, 1 John chapter 5 and verse 19. We know that we are of God, but the opposite. But the whole world lies in the power of the evil one. So it is a reality that we are waging against. Okay, so you take any industry, because pornography, and I was just reading up somewhere that almost 90% of the content we were talking, is actually uploaded content. Okay, so they are doing it for money. Even family values are being broken to show to the world what is happening in the bedroom. Okay, and another thing is there are people want to watch what is happening. There is voyeurism taking place. There is exhibitionism, opening up and showing others what is taking place. All these are perversions which is taking place, which is not the way the Lord intended it. How a marriage should be, how sex should be. And here, I mean, when you take up of all the in the bus and all that, people say he touched me with his body parts. He was rubbing against me. Where is all that coming from? Because they are so much filled with all these things, they objectify just those body parts, and just the face is forgotten. Just that what he did now in many places we see in the bus, people were masturbating. People were, I mean, so.
Even I was when you talked about that, I was just reminded of the Nirbhaya case. Nirbhaya case, there was one minor or two minors?
One minor, I think. One was below 6.
One was minor, right? And we are talking about rape, right? And whenever you talk about rape, there are certain cases where there are minors. Now, one fine day, they did not just decide to go and go and rape someone. Right? It has been cooking. Right, cooking. So I often tell myself, and I tell some of my youngsters that who are struggling with this, given a chance, right? You've been watching this for so many years. Given a chance, right? When if no one could know, will you engage in this realistic? Because ultimately now you have seen this for such a long time. Now you want to act out. Right. So you see how our society at large has been impacted by this, right? And we don't, if you look at Fight the New Drug, they say how it has impacted our heart. And how it has impacted our mind, and how it has impacted our society at general, right? Our society has been driven by these kind of things, right? And we as Christians should be aware of this. Let's not be passive. Again, I'll mention, let's not be passive, let's be active. Like, the impact is crazy. And in our churches, there is a lot of impact, but we're not talking about it. We're just silent about it, right? And I think that's very, very important. Like, if there's so much impact and there's so much of human trafficking and so much of money laundering and all these kind of things, is that really what we really want to support? It's a bigger question, right? We're all
the more you watch, you're encouraging it more.
You're encouraging
and the key words, like young, old, which I use, or teacher, student. All those, they make it as scenes, and they use the children, use the youngsters to produce more of that, or to upload more of that content. Nowadays we find in resorts, bathing scenes are being, some people put that, or in rooms everybody is made cautious to check the windows, check the mirrors, see whether it is.
Even I've done that.
So why?
You don't know what's been happening, right? If you go to a shady restaurant, you don't know. Right?
So they are wanting to upload it so that they get money for it.
In fact, funny you mentioned money, because the size of the industry, just to put it in perspective, I was reading it says that since 2015, the business, the market was stagnant in its revenue. But see how Satan opens avenues. So VR, the new technology that has come in, where you can plug your headsets
and go to a different world
and have this 3D experience,
Wow.
listen to this, the VR video games is $1.4 billion of an industry. Now VR porn is $1 billion.
So since it started, that's crazy.
It's up there with the best
NFL,
industries.
the
And the
NFL,
next is NFL, which is 1.23 billion, which is mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing.
These are the other two are a reality where people are putting in a lot of research and a lot of money into that.
Added to that, I think the same one. We were thinking, you take any technology or anything which has come up, you find porn in it. Any industry. Okay, we are talking about using it for counseling, maybe on one-on-one. There is a porn thing which comes up for that. Okay, you take up books. There are porn books. Okay, you take up videos. They have entered that. Now saying about VR. Okay,
There's also deep fakes that have come
deep
up, right?
fakes,
Which is
AI, AI chatbots.
Yeah.
Okay, AI girlfriends. Okay, so whichever technology, however the knowledge has increased, you find them stepping into it. I read one of the giants actually talking in that. You give us a technology, we'll use it.
Yeah, it's in this context, I want to just remind each of our viewers that these things that we're discussing, that does not mean you go search for it, right? Yeah. And also remember, as you're talking about this, it can trigger you, right? It can trigger any of us, right? And we have to be careful with your searches, and it might pop up in your feeds or and all those kind of things. And we were talking about it. So I just want to pause and tell this to all of us that be careful as we're talking about this, right?
Yeah.
Even though we are trying to talk about it to fight it, it can become a trigger. Yeah. Right? Like I myself, I'm trying to be very careful as I'm talking about it, so that it doesn't become a trigger for myself, right? So the impact is crazy, right? The impact is so much on the individual, on the marriage, on the industry, human trafficking, on our society, even legal aspects, right? Like I think you know more about the legal aspect.
The POXO cases which has come up.
POXO Act,
POXO Act and all that. Many times we forget what actually it is.
Yeah.
Okay, it is actually protecting till 18 years, not 12, not 14. Okay, so the so-called mature women of 16, 17 are also included in this. So many times watching together with a boyfriend, girlfriend, or if the guy is above 18, it can be quoted, the girl can complain. Okay, the content which is being shared. Okay, all these things are part of the POXO case. Okay, so the legal aspect and another thing.
Can you just tell what the POXO case is?
Yeah, POXO is like prevention of cruelty and sexual abuse. Okay. Sexual offences against children. Okay, that is what POXO is.
Yes.
And recently we found that how much the cyber world helps in cracking cases. Okay, recently a child was kidnapped in Kerala, and to find out, there was only one clue the child told, and finally we got the child back. The child told only one thing. I was shown Tom and Jerry cartoons at 12:30 in the night. So the cyber police searched the IP addresses which were watching Tom and Jerry at 12:30 in the night, and they boiled it down to around 1:30. Okay, then the time frame again, and they told a location. And then they found one of the evidences against these people who were captured was this. So how much you might think, okay, I have gone into the incognito mode and nobody can see me, nobody can understand. No, there are footprints everywhere. So from one porn site, from YouTube, maybe you got the trigger. From that you searched with one keyword, you went to somebody else, something else. Everything there are footprints.
Facts, yeah.
And every IP address, how much ever you try to mask and you try to divert and all that, unless until nobody, I don't think, is searching porn with all these things.
Yeah.
Okay, they are just doing arbitrary. Many of the teens who are watching it, remember, you're not, hiding. If needed, it can be found. So any sexual content in the mobile, in your gadgets with children below 18, you can be arrested. A case can be filed if it is content, especially child pornography. So be sure, you don't even know the actress or the persons there, what age they are. You don't know that. So there are a lot of legal aspects, especially human trafficking. There's something known as revenge porn, in which the old boyfriends, old girlfriends videos are uploaded. And deep fake, as you were saying. So there are a lot of legal aspects to all
Yeah.
this. Many
Yeah.
times children get into it without knowing what all this is. But
Yeah.
it is our duty to really to educate
Yeah.
children on a wider aspect, like not only just Christians or church going, but everybody needs to be aware that this is being tracked, can be tracked.
Can be
I'm not
tracked,
saying it may be tracked on everybody is being watched or anything, but if a need arises.
No, I know a case of someone who
Yeah.
where the guy was watching something and he was watching child pornography,
Yeah.
and the police didn't want to catch him for that, but something else came up and it linked to this, and they're like, "Oh, you were watching child pornography. I can put a section against you.
Yeah.
Like I can put a warrant against you, right?" And this is a case that came to me, right? So we have to be careful. Like this, someone had told me, case as in someone told me about this in counseling. So we have to be very careful of these kind of things, right? And I think there's lots more to talk, but I think we need to stop, right? But like my biggest question is this, right? We see the impact on an individual, right? In all biopneumo psychosocial, in all fronts, in marriage, in a society, in the legal aspects of it, how the industry is a big industry, it's like a big industry behind this. There's so much impact and there's so much of darkness within it. Let this be a motivation to stop. Right? Let this be a motivation. If nothing, it's impacting us. It's impacting our immediate families, immediate marriage, immediate society, right? And if you are talking about social causes, let's look at the broader sense, right?
Yeah.
And let that be a let that be a reason for us to stop. Like one of my people I knew, he's helping with human trafficking and all those kind of things, right? And he realized the impact of this on human trafficking, and he said, I decided to stop watching this because of the impact, right? And so my encouragement to all of us is, and we will close with this, is that let this impact, realization of this impact, be a reason for us to stop, right? Let's not give in to this, right? It's a huge dhanda in some sense, when you talk in Hindi, it's a big industry, and let's not give in to this, right? Let's guard against ourselves. Let's guard our societies at large, our hearts, our minds, and everyone around us. And let's not give in to this.
And there are traps. Like recently, when you think honey trapping, things like, because they know this guy is into these things, there are these WhatsApp video calls which come, and immediately as they take it, it's actually a nude woman.
Yeah.
And then a screenshot is taken, and the guy is, blackmailed for it.
Yeah.
So why? Because he is into these things.
Yes.
They know it,
Yeah.
and they can be trapped.
Yeah.
So that's what people can misuse you unknowingly too.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to file a case saying that, okay, fine, I got into this.
Yeah.
And then once it becomes too bad, they come.
Yeah.
So
In fact, funny you should mention, I'm sorry, I'll just use one addition to that. And your ads are a testament to what you watch.
Exactly. We were talking about this.
We were talking about anonymity, but we are far from anonymous.
Yes.
The whole of internet knows what we are up to, and they profile us.
Yeah.
They know our interests, and that's what is shown to us. So if you want to really run away from it, you will run away to a degree where your ads change.
Your hands are
Your litmus test.
Yeah.
So
My brother said it so well.
yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll talk more, but I encourage you to make a stand, right? Take a stand to fight against this on yourself and also for other people around.
We say no to drugs.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a global event now.
Yes. Yeah. Let's say no to porn. Right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For watching. Until next time. Bye.